I'm Simon Pope. I'm an artist. I make participatory artworks, so I work with groups of people to make artworks together. The project's called Here's to Thee. It's a collaborative piece of work, working with a cider maker, Gray's Devon Cider, who are a local cider maker, working with musician Jim Causley and Bill Murray, also working with other artists, Robert Darch, the photographer, Abigail North, a ceramic artist, and Kaye Winwood, who makes experimental food events. In this case, she's working with live foods derived from the farmhouse, so cheeses and cider and bread. The main theme of the project is how humans work out their social lives with microbial life. I'm really interested in how cider making offers us a really tangible, graspable example of how humans negotiate their community life, their social life among microbes and with microbes. Because this project initially was focused on a novel form of wassail at the cider farm, one which acknowledged the microbial life as intrinsic to cider making and the communities that are built around it, the project already had music at its heart. So the collaboration with musician Jim Causley and Bill Murray was really core to this project. It was really built around that collaboration. I'm also working with Robert Darch, who's a renowned photographer who's worked on Dartmoor, who does work that's through a duration, usually through the seasons, through a year. He's been working to document the activity on the farm, where the collaborations have taken place on the farm. Bevis Bowden is a filmmaker and cinematographer that I've worked with for a good number of years. He works on natural history documentaries and again spends time in a place to attune to it, to make film from that engagement with a particular species or a particular field or a farm. A wassail traditionally, conventionally, also has ceramics as an aspect of it, so a bowl for shared drinking. So it was at that point I looked to collaborate with a ceramic artist that would be willing to experiment, and this collaboration actually took Abigail North, the ceramic artist, towards working with what she calls wild clay taken from the farm, processed to make a bowl for communal drinking of cider during the wassail.
So I'm working with the artist Simon Pope, who is the lead artist on Here's to Thee. Here at the museum, we've been working with him since late 2019, and we're involved in the first wassail out at Holstow. We've been working with Simon since that first wassail in January 2020 to explore how the themes around cider drinking, microbial life and fermentation actually link to our collections here at the museum, looking at objects that range across time, including medieval drinking vessels. And we now have a beautiful display of some of those objects together with Abigail's bowl, which was used at the first wassail. The clay is made from the site of the farm where the wassail took place. So this all adds meaning both to the kind of scientific research around microbial life, but also the cultural meaning too.
Throughout the 2.5 years of this commission, it's given me the opportunity to work with other people to make that idea more complex, to think about it in different ways. And so working with Harry West at the university has really enabled me to have another language, really, to think about these things, especially Harry's idea about the terroir idea, how people, product and place relate in particular ways, in particular places, around particular products.
So I've done research for a number of years with artisan cheesemakers, and I'm very interested in the production of artisanal foods. I'm very interested in fermentation. And when I found out that Simon was starting this project that was focusing on cider, and fermentation with an artisan producer, I became very interested in what he was doing. We've drawn Simon into interaction with our students. He's come and talked to them in the classroom. We've had opportunities to take the students out to visit the grays on the farm and to see cider making. They've been involved in the wassail. So there have been many different ways in which we've gotten students involved. So for me, it's been very interesting to work with Simon, to work with an artist. What Here's to Thee has taught me is that those interactions with people are not simply a means toward a piece of work, that my work is not simply a way of representing that experience, but that interaction with people is the work itself. Bringing together community is a particular kind of act of creating a sort of context for the formation of knowledge, a context for the preservation of knowledge, a context for the communication of knowledge, all wrapped up in one. So it's been really enjoyable to be in the moment as we've been doing this work and to recognize the performances of the wassail and the shared meals. That bringing together of community, to recognize all of that as being the center point of the project itself.
Something I often think about in making artworks of this kind is that you can think about participatory, socially engaged work as the artist setting up a group, working with a community that's separate from them. In this project, I'm part of that community. There is no separation, and this kind of project's really rewarding personally, in that you make new friends. These collaborations turn into long-term friendships. You get insights into how people live and what they do feel about what they do, and it does feel like a real contribution. It is actually building community in that sense, and so I think. I feel happy to be making work in this way. It feels personally rewarding, and I really hope that it is a contribution to making other people's lives kind of interesting and celebrating what they do.
Wassail, wassail, and jolly come to our jovial wassail.